Friends, in this video, let's discuss about how to take backup of SQL Server Analysis Services database using XMLA. What is XMLA? XMLA stands for XML for Analysis Services. And please don't ask me to explain more about XMLA because it's a huge topic. And what I'm going to cover in this particular video is how to take backup using custom wizard basis, and then let's see how to take backup using XMLA and what's the advantages of having XMLA over wizard basis. So let's start. And I connected to SQL Server Analysis Services here, and this is my database, and you know this is pretty small database which I'm using from last 3 to 4 videos, which has only a couple of dimensions and only one cube which has only one measure group, and you can see the same here. Now I should say this is pretty small database. If you see by right clicking here in the properties, it is just 3 MB, which is nothing. In real time, the database is the biggest database that I have seen so far is 3.14 terabyte, which is like hell for taking the backup of 3.14 terabyte. It was taking something around 48 or 50 hours. You can imagine how much time it is. It's huge, and even the database size is huge. And the most commonly in common, if you see the database size of SSAS, it'll be like around 800 gigs. If it is 800 gigs DB, people will say, okay, this is a medium database in SSAS. Now, forget about that. This is not the video in which we are going to cover about all the sizes and all. I'm going to make one more video on cube size and all. So in this video, I'm going to discuss about only taking backups. So the first one is custom way. Let's see how to do that. If I go to the properties window, I'm sorry, I should not go to the properties window. If I right click here, I can see backup option. If I take the backup, it will ask me what is the file name, what is the database, and what is the backup file name. Let's say I want to store it in where is the best way. By default, it is pointing to OLAP log folder. I don't want it to be the log folder. Let me go to the desktop, and I want to store the same in the desktop. Okay. I created a folder over here. Okay, my intention is to go for desktop. This is a desktop folder. This is the desktop, actual desktop. Now let me give the path here. Selected path is desktop one, and the file name I want to keep it as adventure back. And remember, the backup file will have the extension .abf, which means analysis backup file. So click on OK, and allow overwrite. If the file is already exists in the database, if you want to overwrite, you can overwrite it. And allow compression. It will apply the compression path. It will compress the backup file first, and encrypt backup file. If you want to provide any password, if people want to use this backup to restore in their server, you can encrypt the backup so that people has to provide the password so that to make it to restore it into the servers. Right now this is not a high priority for me, so I'm taking it down. So this is the custom wizard basis backup. I've taken the backup, and you can see adv_backup file is ready. It's done because it's a pretty small one, right? As I said, so it has taken very minimum time, I can say. Now this is using wizards. Let's see how to create the database backup, or how to take the database backup using XMLA. So for that, there are multiple ways. First, if you're familiar with XMLA commands, then you can write it on your own by going to new query and by selecting XMLA. You have to write your own, which I don't think it's easy to remember. So I don't prefer doing it this way. What I normally do is I'll go to backup option, and I'll select these guys, and I know this is desktop, and adventure_backup. Let me click on OK, and allow for file overwrite. If the file is already available, allow file overwrite, and I don't want to set any backup file, just like I've done last time. And here you'll find an option, script action. Whatever the action, the properties, all the things that you have set to a new query window or script action to a file. That means the script will be stored in a file and the file can be used whenever you wish to. Or script action to a clipboard, which means it will be copied and you can paste it wherever you want. So let me do it. Script action to a new query window. What it is going to do is it is going to open an XMLA wizard, XMLA query window, and it will copy the script to this one. And you can see this is how the script should be. You should, if you are familiar with XMLA scripting, you can directly write on your own, or else you can take the help of the wizard to create XMLA script. And you can see allow file override, set it to true. If you don't want to do that, you can set it to false. But remember, if there is any backup with the same name available in the same path, file path, whatever you have given, then it will fail. Keep that one in mind. And something like this. If I execute this, if there is any database with the name, you can see backup or restore errors, file already exists. Right? So you have to be very careful while giving this. Either the name should be unique, the database file name, or backup file name, or else set it to true so that it will override the existing backup file. So if you see this XMLA command, you can see this is object, and object is database ID, and it is AdventureWorks, and where the file you want to backup, from where you have to take the backup, and the database backup file name will be provided under the file tags. And then allow override is the next property what you are setting, and it is set to true. Now if you execute this, it will do the same job like taking the backup, and it is done. You can see executing the query, execution complete, and it has taken only 2 seconds. The backup is done. That means backup is overwritten on the already existing file in our case. Now what is the advantage of having using XMLA file over wizard? Let's assume you have to take the backup every day or once in every hour. So every time right clicking and opening the wizard and doing the backup, that's a little hectic, right? To be honest, if you have this XMLA file, you can take the backup in so many ways. One is you can use this backup, this script file, the script command in SSAS packages. And you can schedule the SSAS packages using SQL Server Agent jobs, which will help in scheduling the job and getting the backup in the preferred schedules. And the second thing is you can use the same command in a batch, and you can call the batch, or there are so many ways. Even partial scripting or Perl scripting, you can have this one in partial script, and you can call that PowerShell script using Windows command, which will do the job for you, like taking the backup. So and also if you store this one in file, you can just quickly open the query window and paste it. Let's say you open the query window either like this or by going here XMLA, and let's say you have this XMLA script somewhere, copy it and execute it. That's it. It will be done. So this is the beauty, and I love this XMLA particularly for taking backups and restore. And an important tip here, if you're taking a backup of huge databases which will take 15 hours, 20 hours, that time I prefer to execute it, and once the execution started, I will corrupt this command like backup, I remove P. Okay, I'll tell you why I'll do this. Let's say it takes 15 hours and I'm watching it for every 1 hour. And after 15 hours, let's assume it is completed. And if it is still in the correct command, like this backup and all, by mistake, if I click on F5, again it will be hectic. It will acquire logs and it will start the backup and it will try to overwrite it. And if I click on cancel it, it will restore. That's a big headache. If I do it like this, once the backup is started, and by mistake, even if I execute F5 after the backup is completed, it will throw an error, but it won't execute the backup. So this is a tip, or I should say that I follow very frequently when I'm taking the backups of huge databases. Hope you guys understood how to take the backups using XMLA, and I hope you will use the same method to make your work easy. Thank you very much for watching this video, and wait for more videos. I'm going to add more and more videos on SSAS administration tasks. Have a great day. catch you very, very soon. Thank you guys. Bye-bye.